Well, welcome to St. Genevieve National Historical Park. My name is David and we are here in historic St. Genevieve, Missouri. This town is the first European settlement on this side of the Mississippi River. We're standing in front of the Jean-Baptiste Valet house, one of the early French colonial homes that still exists here in St. Genevieve. This house was actually built in 1794 and lived in by the Valet family, who were very prominent citizens here in town, doing everything from being politicians to owning and operating businesses. Now, the Valet house has changed over time, and its changes reflect the various citizens and populations who have moved to this area over the many decades that the home has existed. You'll notice some French colonial elements like this porch here on the back, which at one time would have wrapped all the way around the building, but later additions like the second story and this room over here reflect those cultures and folks who moved to this area a little bit later on, the tastes that changed and evolved throughout the 19th century. And as you see the house today, it really reflects that late 19th century period when it was almost frozen in time. So, throughout the colonial period, the town evolved, but one of the major changes that came in was in the 1830s and 40s when there was a huge influx of German immigrants who came to the area. Germans built stone structures and brick structures, unlike some of the French buildings that you saw before. And as the town continued to evolve, you continue to see changes from the various cultures and peoples who move here. Some of the industries evolve, but some stayed the same. For instance, mining has sustained this town for now generations here and continues into St. Genevieve today. One of the other industries that has emerged here is historical tourism. And St. Genevieve preserves many of its original historic structures, many of them dating back to the 18th and 19th century, for visitors to explore and see today. And it was in the early 90s, with the major flood in 1993, that we see the beginning of a grassroots movement to preserve even more of this history. That movement would eventually mount and build support, becoming a movement to form a national park here in St. Genevieve. And just 4 years ago, that park was formed here with St. Genevieve National Historical Park. And today that park, our park, interprets the history of St. Genevieve, the many migrants who came and left this area, and of course their influence on the town, its architecture, its religion, and culture in general. All right, so we are standing here at Green Tree Tavern, a log cabin. But you may notice that this log cabin doesn't look like many of the log cabins you may have seen throughout the country today. That's because the French colonials who built and designed these cabins were basing their designs on an old traditional style of architecture from Normandy, France. This style of architecture is called vertical log architecture, as you can imagine, because of vertical logs. And the traditional way to build these was to create vertical log homes with bousillage or infill made of mud, straw, and sometimes stones to help keep the home insulated in the wintertime. Now, these vertical log cabins were also structurally sound, and the homes here in St. Genevieve even survived a major earthquake, the New Madrid earthquake, which shook this area and made the Mississippi River run backwards for over 3.5 days. So the style of architecture that's used here today is distinctly French colonial, but it's also a style that allows these buildings to survive for over 200 years. So we want to invite you to come and explore St. Genevieve National Historical Park and learn about the many peoples and the cultures who have lived here. Take a tour or stroll around the historic district. And while you're here, immerse yourself in French colonial history and discover the rich history that makes our country what it is today.